So what about deck building board games? I mean, certainly being a Wargamer Fritz, playing war games, rolling those D6s, or depending on the system, D10 or custom D8s. Being a Dungeons and Dragons enthusiast, rolling those dice, I tend to enjoy dice-based games. Yes, they are very swingy, but in that moment for tabletop glory, I pick the dice up. Anything is possible. When you roll those dice out, that rush, that thrill in the moment. But I also enjoy a deck building perspective. I like the idea of being able to somewhat control my choices, of knowing what's coming up. Two examples. We're going to look at Mage Knight, or we can look at Gloomhaven, Gloomy. We can look at Horizon Zero Dawn. This idea of I have a hand of cards, and over time, when I level up, I get to pick new cards. So I level up, I've got 3 cards, I can pick one. I cycle those into my hand. That deck will get bigger, or maybe smaller as I take wounds. But from that deck building perspective, I do understand controlling the random, that in theory, that 1 or 2 cards that I need, that power card that I need, it's in that deck of 24. What is that? Something's cat, Schroeder's cat. In that moment, until I look in that box, it's both alive and dead. So from that deck building perspective, I could have that power card on the top, in the middle, on the bottom. It's everywhere until I draw it to confirm where it is. But from that perspective, looking at it, I do understand deck building card games, the fun of that, the fun of being able to customize your deck and know, okay, look, at some point this is coming in. When it happens, do I hold it? But then there's also issues where the deck building also serves as wounds. So you're not safe with the control, meaning I can have that power card in my hand of 5, and I'm like, okay, I've got it. I'm saving it because I'm going to have to use it at the boss fight in a little bit. 100% I control it because it's in my hand. But if I take wounds and I have to discard cards, like Mage Knight from that perspective, then I'm losing something. And if I take catastrophic wounds, I'm going to lose this. So do I play it now because it's guaranteed? Do I hold it and try to play conservatively and not take wounds? I mean, there are new sets of choices. Yes, you can control more, but there are new sets of choices you need to make with deck building type games. And then, of course, hybrid games, moving into something like Horizon Zero Dawn, where my hunters have a deck. As I level up, I draw new cards and I pick the cards that I want based on the skill tree. As I buy items, hunting gear, I cycle them into the deck, so I'm getting stronger and stronger, but it also serves as wounds. And when I do make attacks, I roll dice to see what happens. I roll dice and I can boost them with the cards. That gives me a damage output, and I apply that to the machines that I'm hunting. I kind of really like that hybrid. I think in terms of board games, we saw where it was like all dice fest all the time. And then there's a revolt. I know I'm condensing things a little bit. There's this revolt where now it must be deck building. You must control everything, like Gloomhaven. And I love Gloomy. But now we're seeing hybrids, the best of both worlds, where you have a little spice. You have a little bit of flavor. Can't wait for New Dune. The spice must flow. I mean, I cannot wait. But from that, you have the duality of I've got my deck. I can control it. I can optimize it. I can build it. But I'm going to roll some dice. And I'm also going to see. It's grown on me over time. Again, going back to this idea, I'm all about the dice. I love the dice. I still love the dice. I find deck building originally to be €2. I don't need to control that. I want the random, but it's grown on me over time, and I enjoy it from that perspective. And now the best of the best, in my opinion, based on my player personality, is this idea of hybrid. The fact that I can have my deck, control my deck, customize my deck, make those choices, have that illusion of control, but also sit there and pray to the dice gods and hold those dice and roll it out and see what I get. So pushing it over to you guys for thoughts, feedback, comments. Deck building in board games. No, I just want dice. Yes, 100% deck building. Or thoughts on this new evolution of both deck building and dice, taking the best of both and using it to complement each other.